that lineup in there as well, right?
Nelly would love that 2-3 zone. That could stretch the width of the court.
As two guys who have coached in all-star competition, what is the toughest aspect of handling an all-star squad?
I think your concern is that you want to give everybody equal opportunity because it is all-star weekend. You'd like to give them the shot at minutes that come close to being the same for everyone. But then you realize you can't do that because you're also trying to win a game at the end of it. Give them the minutes early, split them up, and then go for the win at the end.
It's not only just splitting up the minutes. You don't want to anger anybody you may be seeing down the road in the playoffs. So those non-playoff people, when I did it, they were at the end of the minute line, and I upped everybody else's minutes.
All right, Vince Carter and Michael Jordan, a couple of Tar Heel alums. Vince was not well received when he was introduced to the crowd moments ago, even with the announcement prefacing the name Vince Carter that he had given up his starting slot.
I'm not sure everybody was ready to hear that little bit that they threw in there all of a sudden after his name. Then the people recognize now that it will be Michael starting in place of Vince Carter.
And Marv, I think Vince Carter shouldn't have been compelled or pressured. I think if he wanted to do it, he should have, but I don't think anyone should feel the obligation not to play in a game that they're voted into. I think maybe the rules need to be adjusted where if a guy doesn't play a certain amount of games, then he can't start. But I certainly think Vince Carter should be given credit for what he did.
Jeff, did your concern about upsetting any player that might come back to hurt you later on, did that carry over into the officiating as well?
No, but we do have three outstanding officials here today.
Of course.
And I want to get that in. I don't know who's the best of them all.
It doesn't stop. The officials are Jim Clark, Ted Bernhardt, and Louis Brillo. This an all-star game series that dates back to 1951. The first two all-star games played at the old Boston Garden last season in Philadelphia. The West beat the East 135 to 120. And we're just about set.
Marv, I don't care what Michael wanted. This is how it should be. Michael Jordan should be starting the last all-star appearance in his career.
Michael, who will celebrate his 40th birthday in 8 days on February the 17th, in his 15th and final NBA season. Tim Duncan, or no, Duncan had stepped in, but Yao Ming will go against Ben Wallace of the Detroit Pistons, and it's controlled by the West. This is Steve Francis of the Houston Rockets in the backcourt with the LA Lakers' Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan of San Antonio, Kevin Garnett of Minnesota opens up the scoring. The East squad with Allen Iverson of the Philadelphia 76ers, along with Tracy McGrady of the Orlando Magic up front. Ben Wallace of Detroit, Jermaine O'Neal of Indiana, and Michael Jordan of the Washington Wizards. O'Neal rebounded by Wallace, who leads the NBA in that department. And the crowd getting into it as Jordan shoots over Yao Ming.
Yao probably never, ever thought he'd be matched up one-on-one against Michael Jordan in an all-star game.
Yao Ming switching off. What a reception Yao received when he was introduced. Bryant being played by McGrady. Here's Francis. Duncan. And Francis able to retrieve.
Because of the lineup change, you've got Michael Jordan guarding Kevin Garnett. You see the lob over the top. Yao moving without the ball, right to the rim for a lob and finish.
You know, there were many questions concerning Yao coming into his rookie season, but he has impressed his peers with every phase of his game. His footwork, his passing, his post moves, his knowledge of the sport. He's averaged just under 13 points, 8 rebounds. Garnett, yes.
And that's what makes Garnett so great. 6'11", he can play 5, 4, 3, and 2. He can guard on the perimeter, he can make a perimeter shot, he can post you. He's a matchup nightmare for any coach.
Tracy McGrady McGrady from downtown. Tracy comes in leading the NBA, averaging better than 30 points per game.
Jeff, I'll tell you what I like already is I like what I see as far as how they're playing the game to start out with. We haven't seen any of the careless basketball that we saw in the first half of the game yesterday by the youngsters out there. They're playing this game on a much more serious level.
Iverson with the lob, but overthrows, and it's out of bounds.
Yao finds himself unguarded, so the first thing he does is go right to the front of the rim, and there we see the lob pass and the finish right there. Matchup on defense. I think you can find Yao on the floor. It's not that hard to find.
Steve Francis with the scoop, and it's the West 8 and the East 3. So are you referring to your victory in coaching the sophomores over the rookies yesterday? Jeff, as you know, he has been just impossible with that come from behind. Well, here's Jordan for 3. And Michael has missed on his first 2 shot attempts. It's a 4-on-2 for the West. Bryant went behind the back, but turns it over.
Well, once again, Kobe trying to put a little mustard on it right here. And as we see, going back underneath the backboard, trying to finish on the other side. That's where you meet all the white jerseys that are protecting the rim.
And that's a good sign because they're playing competitive. They're not just letting somebody get to the front of the rim.
Oh, what a move by McGrady to the reverse. And the East has opened up 1 for its first 7. Steal by O'Neal. Iverson behind the back. McGrady was looking for a foul call. Nice pass by Iverson, the West 8, and the East 5. 3.5 gone by. Bryant got the step. Duncan with the 10.
The West just has so much overall size. Garnett is bigger at the small forward than Wallace is as the center for the East. It's just a size advantage all night for the Western Conference.
And then when Yao Ming goes out, fellow by the name of Shaquille O'Neal checking Jermaine O'Neal. Cuts it to a 3-point West lead.
Shaq's a pretty good 6-man, I'd say.
Kobe Bryant way off on that 3-point attempt. McGrady's pass broken up. And the quickness of Steve Francis leading to the break. Steve Francis having a terrific season for the Houston Rockets. Trying to lead the Rockets to the playoffs for the first time since 1999. Iverson met on the switch by Duncan. Here's Jordan. This crowd wants so badly from Michael to hit that first shot. He's 0 for 3. And Ben Wallace with a good play, reaching in to deflect it out of the hands of Yao Ming.
You see the deflection, Garnett always active, hands on the ball, and then Stevie Francis coming up with the steal and the finish.
McGrady got to work on Garnett. Iverson with the step, lobbed it, and Duncan able to pick it off. The West with a 12-7 lead on the East. Duncan going glass, and that has been his specialty.
And it's good sharing of the ball. 3 or 4 5 passes, wide open shot. And Duncan is the best of the game at banking the ball off the board.
O'Neal, off a series of moves, draws the foul. It's on Duncan.
Jermaine O'Neal getting better and better this season in his low post moves, down low at the basket area. Ability to draw fouls, get to the free throw line. Tim Duncan knows it right away. Too much contact on the way up by the big man.
Jermaine O'Neal, a 75% free throw shooter. Named the NBA's most improved player last season. Has that average up to 20 per game, as you see, making his second All-Star appearance.
And what a great example for a lot of the young people that have come in early. This young man did not come in and enjoy instant success in the NBA. There were years of frustration sitting on the bench for Jermaine O'Neal in Portland, and it wasn't Portland's fault. They had very good veteran players that were better than him in the league for a while. He became unhappy. The trade was the best thing that happened to him to Indiana, and now by Brad Miller coming over, it moves him out of the center spot into the power forward position.
Iverson Wallace through the double. Here's Jordan. Jordan again. And Michael 0 for 5 here at the start. Yao lost it. Jordan on the loose ball. Crowd wants him to fire, and he does. The East able to get back. Wallace breaks it up. And Wallace, the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year last season, but that pass thrown off the mark. And a timeout is being called.
Ben Wallace makes a good decision not to go where all the red jerseys are. He finds Michael, who seems to have a wide open lefty layup, and then the follow-up. This is both the frustration right now that the rim just will not open up for Michael.
Excellent play-by-play. As always, too much talk by the color commentator. You picked that up right away. It's about 5:45 a.m. in Shanghai. Oh, Wallace is fouled. Nice pass. Allen Iverson has opened up here as a playmaker. Some nifty passing by Iverson, and once again, the East to the line.
Allen has a good feel where all the white jerseys are going right, but knowing somebody's back there left. He finds Ben Wallace, and then Kobe trying to get it from behind commits the foul.
Ben Wallace at the free throw line has struggled throughout his 7-year NBA career, a 44% foul shooter this season. Ben Wallace of the Detroit Pistons, who have won 4 in a row. They have the 3rd best record in the East. A terrific season for the Pistons. Nice move by Jermaine O'Neal.
He actually feels more comfortable many times finishing with his left hand around the basket than he does with his right. It's an unusual thing, but it's something that he has a great strength in using both hands.
Kobe Bryant trying to set it up. Here's Kevin Garnett. Rebounded by O'Neal.
It's a pretty good looking front line out there for the Western Conference when you think about Garnett, Duncan, and then Yao Ming, the skills of Yao Ming. And then you talk about skills. How about Tim Duncan? And there's Ben Wallace just missing the finish.
Garnett run into by Jordan. Michael looking puzzled about that foul. Well, during this evening's NBA All-Star Game, 989 Sports, PlayStation 2 is proud to present spectacular pictures from Skycam. Earlier we had suggested that perhaps the Czar could get a better look at the game from that particular position. Did not go for it.
You made Skycam sound like it's a friend or something. Skycam. It is a very interesting angle, though, to watch the game from, particularly replays, because you get to see the thing coming right behind the point guard as you come down the floor.
You on the payroll now, then?
I am.
14-10, West with the lead. Stephon Marbury, who just checked in, is able to hit.
And Marv, you asked this question, what's the hardest thing? It's playing your own guys. Isaiah Thomas' first sub was Brad Miller. A good move by him for his own team and his own player.
And Michael Jordan is 0 for 7 from the field. Jamie Foxx trying to get into the action as Jason Kidd looked at him and laughed. We have participatory fans here in Atlanta. The Jason Kidd of the New Jersey Nets, Brad Miller of the Indiana Pacers have checked in. What a move by Iverson to set it up for Miller. Brad Miller in his very first All-Star game. Remember, Brad acquired from Chicago last February, that deal involving Jalen Rose and Ron Artest, Ron Mercer, Travis Best. Steve Nash, who just came on, setting it up for Duncan, rejected by O'Neal. And here comes Kidd. Iverson met by Nash. Iverson, yes.
Well, let's go back to Brad Miller for a second. When we think about free agents at the end of the season, the first two names become Duncan and Kidd. We see Stephon Marbury bringing it up, giving a little show at the same time there. But think about Indiana's problem at the end of the season. They must re-sign Reggie Miller. Jermaine O'Neal is someone they have to deal with. Then you talk about Michael Jordan finally scoring the basketball. And then Brad Miller, who's had an incredible year as a free agent as well.
Stephon Marbury, the former Net, acquired in the deal for Jason Kidd, and they're matched up against each other. O'Neal not able to handle the lob pass. And a timeout has been called with the East coming from behind to tie the West at 16.
After going 0 for 7, Michael finally breaks the ice and is 1 for 8. And Jermaine O'Neal, what a great block on Tim Duncan, who's just about ready to throw it down.
Welcome back to Phillips Arena in Atlanta. Marv Albert, the Czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy, Craig Sager, and Cheryl Miller, along with a star-studded crowd, including Denzel Washington, Hall of Famer, one of the NBA's great players, Bill Russell, Isaac Hayes, Janet Jackson is on hand, and Puff Daddy sitting courtside will be checking out the crowd during the telecast. Shaquille O'Neal now working against his good friend Brad Miller. You recall the altercation they had last season. Fortunately for Miller, Shaq whiffed on the punch.
Yeah, it was an altercation that almost led to the decapitation.
Yes.
Whatever that word is.
Decapitation.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, the Czar. Oh, Jordan missed the stuff. Michael missed his first 7 shots, and he's now 1 of 9 from the field, looking to go at Shaq, and he does. And the ball's knocked out of bounds by O'Neal.
Michael said to Shaq, "You come out here and guard me." Shaq did. So Shaq went out and played him aggressively on defense. We see Michael right there missing the dunk. But Shaq played him pretty well. And then when it went off his foot, Michael said, "Okay, come and do it again."
Now Sean Marion of the Phoenix Suns, who just came on, is guarding Jordan. Michael hits the jumper, and he just said, "About time."
Well, he was in much better rhythm there, going off the dribble on a hard pull-up instead of easing into open shots.
8-0 run by the East. Marion had it knocked away. Nice play by Jason Kidd. Dirk Nowitzki of the Dallas Mavericks, who is certainly among the MVP candidates, has checked in for the first time. Nowitzki is up front with O'Neal and Marion. Marbury shooting the 3 and kept alive by Nash. Minute 25 remaining in this first quarter.
And the East is playing very small. Vince Carter's playing at the power forward here. Brad Miller at the center, a very small team.
Nowitzki. And last touch by O'Neal.
Brad Miller right now is looking around saying, where's the help going to come from as far as rebounding goes? You got to get 5 white jerseys on the glass.
And a look at the unit on the floor. Michael Jordan now will sit down. And here's the applause. Paul Pierce checks back in. This is not what Michael had in mind, though. A surprise starter at the last instant. Vince Carter saying, "Take my spot," although Vince had objected early on and felt that, well, the fans had voted him in. It would be unfair to the fans. Nice play. Jason Kidd able to score. So obviously there was a degree of pressure placed on Carter, and Michael did start, but only 2 of 10 from the field. Here's the double on O'Neal. And a little traveling. No call made. Here's the lob. Iverson fields it, gets it back to Kidd. Miller is fouled. Hacked by Nowitzki.
Well, they've got to remember now, when they throw lobs and lead passes, everybody might be a half a step slow in this game because there have been a few activities around town over the last 2 or 3 nights.
If players ever kept track of the lob efficiency, they would be surprised how few are completed, particularly when you're not playing with those guys on a regular basis and have timing down.
You know, I've had so many of the older players, guys beyond their playing days, and I say to me, why the lob passes now? Why so many of the lob passes? Well, back then there weren't that many guys who could go up and catch him and finish him, but they're right. You can keep this game very simple and still be very effective in it by throwing bounce passes or chest passes.
Good play by Pierce, leading to this. Iverson. And he blows the layup. Iverson again. The East with a 23-16. There's the lob that does work. Shaquille O'Neal puts it down. And that's why they continue to lob.
And throwing to him, that's a good idea.
That stopped a 13-0 run. Final seconds of the first. Iverson. And O'Neal fires one. So that is the end of the first quarter. The East coming from behind with that 13-0 spurt. And they've taken the lead.
Well, dispelling the concern of bounce passes right there. Nash throwing it up 2 feet above the rim. Shaq grabbing it and finishing. Then put a little show on for the folks here in the arena.
We welcome you back to the 52nd NBA All-Star Game. We're at Phillips Arena in Atlanta. The East with a 23-18 lead on the West, and this the lowest scoring first quarter since 1956. There's another lob that misfires. Game played at Rochester at 24-17 first quarter. Nash for 3. And the ball back to the East. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Michael, all weekend your teammates have been trying to give up their starting spot. You politely have said thanks, but no thanks. What changed here at the last minute, and did Vince Carter surprise you?
That's exactly what happened. Vince surprised me. I mean, I told him, as I told the rest of the players, I mean, I started 13 times. I didn't need to start the 14th time, and, you know, they were adamant about getting me to start. And, you know, Vince actually came to me right before we went out and said he would love for me to take his spot. And, you know, I mean, he was very respectful. You know, I think he took some undue punishment, you know, all during his week, you know, about him being very honorable to the fans. And, you know, even at the end when he gave it up, I mean, I really didn't want him to back down from what he actually stood for. And I supported him in that sense. But, you know, he wanted me to take the spot, and I thought it was very gracious of him, very respectful.
Thanks a lot. Back to you, Mark.
All right, Craig, there are also intriguing dynamics going on with Michael Jordan playing for Isaiah Thomas. You recall in Michael's All-Star Day. Oh, Vince Carter on the stuff. And once again the lob, and Sean Marion does it with the reverse. You recall Michael's All-Star debut back in 1985. Isaiah reportedly encouraged teammates to freeze out Michael to keep the ball away from him. And then reportedly was Michael's influence. Dirk Nowitzki is able to score. It was Michael influencing the decision that kept Isaiah off the Dream Team in Barcelona in 1992. And of course, over the years, it's been a very fierce rivalry. There has been a degree of tension there. And the scoring is picked up. Once again, it's Nowitzki, and the East now leads 27-24.
The score is picked up, but the intensity is not the same as it was during that first quarter. This group has come out. They're playing a different kind of basketball, a wide-open basketball. There are not many shots being contested right now.
So I know you talked about that subject of the fierce rivalry between Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan. You talked about it with Isaiah.
Yeah, and Isaiah has mentioned that this was really a real dark spot in his basketball career as Paul Pierce hits it, because it's something that he's had to bear and live with all this time. And I certainly, you know, am not one to pass judgment on it. I was not part of that, what went on. And over the years, as this thing has been great writing material for people, those two people had to live with it and hear about it. And Isaiah really got sick of it because it was a dark spot on his career. And we see now quick pass over to the right side. Brad Miller, instead of shooting the jumper, just puts it up high enough, and that's real high for Vince Carter.
And Marv, I don't buy that whole notion that he froze him out. First of all, he would have had to involve so many other guys to make his plan work, and then why would he be singled out for freezing somebody out? To me, it seems like more of a conspiracy theory that has gone awry.
The old conspiracy theory popping up.
And as both of them have said, look, this far along in their careers now, why shouldn't this thing be buried, put to rest? Isaiah has moved on to his coaching career, a very successful coaching career, and it just happens circumstances wind up being that he's coaching the team, Michael playing on the last time around All-Star game. Bury that whole thing and move on from there. Isaiah was, believe me, he was a force behind this Eastern team doing something to honor Michael here.
Nice pass on the back door, but Pierce throws it out to Ilgauskas. 3 minutes gone by. In the second, the East up by 2. They had a 13-0 run back in the first quarter to take the lead. Marion. And it's Sean Marion once again. Sean Marion of the Phoenix Suns in his first All-Star game. Here's Pierce. Nash and Marbury in the backcourt. Marion able to chase it down, and Nowitzki hits the three.
That's why he's so difficult to guard in transition. As a power forward, he doesn't run for layups. He runs to get behind the three-point line, and he knocked it in.
Antoine Walker way off on that three-point attempt. Here's Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki leading the way with 9 points. And Sean Marion with a first here in the second quarter. It's the West with a 32-29 lead. Dirk Nowitzki, 9 points in 2 minutes of playing time. Of course, tonight's telecast, we'll get a close-up look at several one-time All-Stars. Allen Iverson sitting down, just 2 of 8 from the field. The West in the midst of a 14-2 run. Vince Carter with the touch, hits from downtown. Nowitzki with 9 of those 14 during the course of that run. Gary Payton of the Seattle Sonics has checked in. The pass broken up. Jamal Mashburn of the Hornets, who just came on into the handle, looking for the 3. Fires over Nowitzki. Yes!
He has had a great stretch run the last 8 to 10 games just prior to the All-Star break, and a quick, easy layup for the Western Conference team. Gary Payton taking the pass across. But Mashburn has played outstanding basketball, particularly with the fact that Baron Davis has gone down for their team now, trying to keep the Hornets right in the playoff race.
And Jamal Mashburn in his first ever All-Star appearance. Kevin Garnett is back. He's up front with Dirk Nowitzki and Peja Stojakovic of the Sacramento Kings, who just came on. Off the turnover, here's Kidd whipping by Payton. Jason Kidd grew up with Gary Payton, one of his heroes. They both grew up in Oakland, California. Kevin Garnett, and the West leads by 1. 5 minutes gone by in the second quarter.
Well, Mark, we heard Craig Sager mention at the end of that piece on World Be Free about the ambassadors, and I wonder sometimes, who are the ambassadors of the future out here? Which of these NBA guys, when their careers are done, as we see Antoine Walker, a little turnout, are going to be the ones that are out there spreading the word about the NBA and what this is supposed to be all about?
All right, Nowitzki off the mark on that three-point attempt. Here's Kidd. And Jason Kidd gives the East a 39-36 lead. Here's Nash for Garnett.
You might normally look at this and say, man, they're just coming down now and firing. That's how Dallas plays. That's what Nash is used to. Get the ball down quick, get an open shot for your teammate.
Garnett not able to finish it. Antoine Walker putting one off the glass, intended for Carter. You know, in the first quarter, we saw some defense. We saw some nice plays. This has now developed into the playground-style all-star game as Paul Pierce is able to hit on a break. Adam Sandler enjoying from courtside.
He just used up all the shots in the three-point competition. His arm is tired.
And Vince Carter, who has come off the bench in his 9 minutes, has scored 7 points. The outside official, Ted Bernhardt, indicating the foul. Paul Pierce picks it up.
Little two-on opportunity, two-on-one opportunity. Paul Pierce getting the pass from Jason Kidd, finishing it off. Huge fundraiser at Evander's home. Only about 37 rooms in his mansion.
And the human highlight film, Dominique Wilkins, who I believe has been at every conceivable function this All-Star weekend.
You know what? There's one of the ambassadors. Dominique Wilkins, Magic Johnson, and our own Charles Barkley. They have been the greatest ambassadors. They have been all over this city running all kinds of events and trying to get as much as they possibly can in every second of each day.
And Marv, charging for some admission sometimes.
Well, they run these parties at night, but believe me, forget the parties at night. The other stuff they've done all day long it's been really tiresome for them because they have been asked to be all over, and they have certainly responded.
So, are you doing public relations on the side?
No, I'm just being honest about that ambassadors thing because I think they do a very, very important job for our NBA.
All right, here's Kobe Bryant from downtown. And for Kobe, his first field goal coming up on 5 minutes remaining. And the first half, the East up by 4. Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker, Jamal Mashburn, Vince Carter, Michael Jordan on the floor for the East. Michael played the first 11 minutes, went only 2 of 10 from the field. Pierce off the pick. And Bryant gets it back. Garnett.
Oh my goodness, a bounce pass from Kobe that led to a dunk by Kevin Garnett. It can be done the simple way.
And what's changed on the break defensively is in the first quarter, people were going up to contest the shot at the basket. Now they're just letting people finish. Vince Carter should have made a play.
Up close and personal with Kevin Garnett. Garnett with 8 points now in his 13 minutes of play. Walker being guarded by Duncan. Antoine Walker, who leads the NBA in three-point shots attempted and made, did not have a good time last night, though, at the three-point competition in the skills won by Peja Stojakovic of the Kings. Let's check in with Cheryl Miller. Cheryl?
Thanks a lot, Marv. I'm joined by the son, Sean Marion. Sean, I know this is your first All-Star game, but with that last reverse dunk, you didn't look nervous.
Oh, no, it's crazy, but I'm enjoying myself, man. It's all for the fans. I'm just having fun right now.
How good was it to see Michael Jordan in the starting lineup?
Oh, it's great. It's great. You know, he did his first jumper on me, though. I ain't like that, though, but it's cool, though. We just out there having fun. Everybody just having blast, man. Everybody turning over a little bit too much, but other than that, we playing ball and having fun.
All right, thanks a lot, Sean. Let's send it back to you, Marv.
All right, thanks, Cheryl. Sean Marion, who's been teaming with Mari Stoudemire, Stephon Marbury to give Phoenix one of the most athletic and exciting tandems in the NBA. It's been an excellent turnaround season for the Suns. Mashburn for 3. That's his second from downtown.
There's some beautiful ball movement. Double team in the low poster, kick it out, one pass, swing it over, 2 more passes, and then got a player like Mashburn who knocks it down for you in the end.
That's what makes the NBA special. Good offense against very good defense. That's what makes it compelling.
You know why the game is settled back down again? Because Michael Jordan's on the floor is one of the reasons. Kobe Bryant for the other team. Both of those guys bring a sense of order to the game.
And Jordan just turned it over as he went 1-on-2. Peyton Stojakovic able to go glass.
Another great play on the break by Peyton. He could have taken the shot instead. Extra pass over to Stojakovic. Open 12-foot bank shot.
Once again, the matchup is Kobe Bryant defending on Michael Jordan. Now Tim Duncan switches off. Bryant comes back. Now Mashburn over Duncan. And here comes the West. Peyton lobs it for Garnett.
And Kevin Garnett turned to Michael Jordan and pointed, basically saying thank you for moving out of the way, because he very easily could have wound up by accident underneath Garnett's legs and taken him out from under him as he went up for the lob.
Kevin Garnett, the first to hit double figures. He has 10 points. Here's Walker for 3. Antoine Walker from downtown, the East 50, the West 47.
You see Antoine Walker wearing that knee brace. He is really in pain with that leg. It is a very bad knee that he has right now. It's a result of an injury that happened about 2 weeks ago. He sat out, missed a couple games. He's playing in this because it's the All-Star game, and it means that much to him.
And it has been a frustrating start for Michael Jordan. And this is 13th and final All-Star game. Beautiful lob here, Peyton to Garnett. Well, we have our microphones all over the court. Time to time during the telecast, we'll be listening in on some of the verbiage. And Jeff, you said we might see it. And here it is. Yao Ming, Shaquille O'Neal on the floor at the same time.
And they're trying to play the largest 2-3 zone of all time.
However, you may only get one shot against this zone. That's it. One shot now.
Steve Francis is the only, quote, little man because Garnett and Duncan are also on the floor with O'Neal and Yao.
And the Eastern team came back and played their version of the zone defense at that end.
Just under 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Yao Ming throws the lob for Shaquille O'Neal. And here comes Jordan with Garnett back. Michael Jordan with his third field goal. He has 6 points. He now has 248 points in his All-Star career. That moves him past Oscar Robertson into second place. Kevin Garnett shows the touch. Jordan now 4 points away from passing Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the #1 spot in all-time All-Star scoring. Pierce. Coming up on a minute remaining in the half. Duncan.
That was some pass by Steve Francis. Forget about the finish. The finish was easy. The pass
Easy.
was right there at the rim. And he took it off the dribble and flipped it underhanded.
I'm not sure it wouldn't have gone in if he hadn't touched it.
The East up by 1. Yao Ming being guarded by Antoine Walker. Here's Shaquille O'Neal just backing his way on Paul Pierce, saying, get out of here.
That's a pretty good high-low look when you go from 7-5 to 7-1.
Walker way off on that three-point attempt. Garnett is ahead of the field. Shackton Seam went behind the back instead. Duncan for Garnett.
Big ball seems to be dominating out here at the moment.
So the West up by 3. Kevin Garnett is the high point man with 14.
May not have been since LSU when Stanley Roberts was a starting center that Shaquille O'Neal's a power forward and matching up against Michael Jordan.
Shot clock to 5. Mashburn. Final seconds of the half. Pierce able to break it up but stepped out.
Pretty good combination here. You've got a guy who has the ability to throw the ball, pass the ball extremely well. We're talking about Yao, very highly skilled player. Shaq calling for it back underneath the basket, trying to finish with the left hand.
Francis for 3. Halftime of the West with a 55-52 lead. The West shooting 54%, 26 of 48. And the East at 37%. Let's go to Craig. Graciously stepped aside and gave his starting spot on the East squad to John Havlicek, who was wrapping up an illustrious career.
Well, as Michael said from the beginning, he did not want, and it's very difficult, but he did not want this weekend to be all about Michael Jordan. But as Allen Iverson goes to the basket and finishes, but that's what everybody wants. They want this to be about Michael, not taking away from All-Star Weekend, but he obviously is the focal point.
The West now up by 1. Jason Kidd starting the second half, so Michael Jordan will be coming off the bench. Kobe Bryant not able to hit. Jermaine O'Neal with the rebound. So Iverson and Kidd in the backcourt. O'Neal up front with Brad Miller and Tracy McGrady. O'Neal and Garnett pegs it ahead. Picked off by O'Neal. Miller try to lob it. And back comes the West. Steve Francis of the Houston Rockets try to set it up for Kobe Bryant. McGrady from Iverson.
I really like how Iverson's playing in this game. He's making his teammates better. He's bringing the second defender to him, creating easy opportunities for his teammates.
And that the 4th assist for Iverson. Bryant for Francis. Good ball movement by the West, leading to this, an open shot for Francis. Francis from downtown.
Well, that's the type of unselfish play that you'd like to see take place as Iverson takes to the basket and still shows you, Jeff, that he does remember how to score the basketball.
The game is tied at 58. And the foul on Iverson.
Allen Iverson gets out in front quickly as Jason Kidd pitches the ball ahead. Then it's just a matter of him finding the seam and his great ability to finish by reversing it on the other side.
How about the statement yesterday by Jason Kidd, who becomes a free agent July 1st? He'd been ducking the issue, but yesterday, although as Garnett hits again, although Kidd pointed out how happy he is with the Nets, he said it would be hard to turn down playing with a big man like Tim Duncan. He said he feels he could help the Spurs win a championship.
Well, obviously, Kidd, no matter, is going to be the most sought-after free agent, minus Tim Duncan out there. He can win in New Jersey, which was proven last year. He can win in San Antonio, but I think New Jersey's done all they can to keep him. They've built a good team. They have a solid organization. They've drafted well. Now it's up to Jason Kidd to make his decision.
Let me throw one little thing into the mix here. How about Tony Parker? Going to be 20 years old right now, okay, who's in his 2nd year in the NBA, who's done an excellent job for him as Tim Duncan, the big man we're talking about, hits the jumper from the outside. Now what's happening to Tony Parker? He's sitting there saying, wait a minute, they want to bring somebody else in and knock me out of my job? What do I become, a sub now off the bench? Well, a lot involved there for San Antonio. Very risky to make an effort to go after him right now.
Tony Parker is an outstanding second-year player. Duncan is rejected by O'Neal, but Jason Kidd's addition, I would think, would accelerate the possibilities for San Antonio. The Spurs will be well under the salary cap after this season.
You know what's hard to do, Marv, is win and be under the salary cap. The Spurs management has done an outstanding job remaining a championship contender and, as Jason said, knocks down the three, and still having the ability to add great players like Jason Kidd. Jason
nearly went for the hat trick, but hit on his 3rd attempt from downtown. Duncan is fouled, so Duncan will go to the line, and we'll check in with Craig Sager.
Well, Marv, last night, Jeff Gordon competing in the Budweiser Shootout, finishing 2nd at Daytona. Now he's singing in the stands at the All-Star Game. What do you think of the game so far?
It's great. I mean, it's awesome to be here to see Jordan play for the last time in the All-Star Game, and I know he's going to get 5 more points here, but it's a great event. I mean, it shows a lot of where NBA's come from, where they're going, and we're excited about TNT covering it because they do a lot of stuff with NASCAR races.
Our NASCAR starts in July, but Marv earlier was talking about the gridlock, having trouble getting around. How are you getting around the streets of Atlanta?
I actually had to get out and walk, so the traffic's incredible here. Reminds me a lot of a NASCAR race.
Well, Marv, don't feel bad. If Jeff Gordon has to walk through traffic, I guess we all do. Marv?
I was going to walk. Czar just refused to get out of the car.
That is not true. We actually had to walk back. The entire group last night had to walk back to our hotel. It was much quicker. It would have been a 35, 40-minute wait. Instead, just walk 3 blocks, made it easy.
West with a 3-point lead, 3.5 gone by in this 3rd quarter. Steve Francis being played now by Allen Iverson, getting the pick from his team, Yao Ming. Now Duncan with the mismatch. And tipped home by
We'll just let that offensive goaltending go by for right now since he put his hand inside the bottom of the rim to finish it.
Here's McGrady. 10 points for Tracy. Off the turnover, Iverson. Yes. That's a 3 for Iverson. Allen Iverson, the most valuable player of the NBA All-Star Game 2 years ago. 25 points, 27 minutes at 15 points. And that comeback in the fourth quarter. Kobe Bryant taking to the rim. It counts. And the foul.
Duncan finding Jason right behind him, finished off by Kobe, and then Kobe staying with it, finishing with the left hand.
Kobe Bryant, just 3 of 7 from the field. So the West up by 1. Garnett trying to strip McGrady, and he's called for the reach-in.
His first, second team.
Let's send it over to Cheryl.
Thanks a lot, Marv. Well, Shaq, a week from Tuesday, it's going to be Yao Ming and Shaq Part 2. What's it been like to play with him, as far as with him instead of against him?
He's a very nice guy. I met his family yesterday. It's a beautiful family. A very honorable person. He's good for the game. I'm glad he's here.
How talented do you think he can eventually be?
Very talented. He has a lot of great fundamental skills. He runs the court well. He plays like a big man. He's a shot blocker.
So when are we going to see you lob to him?
Well, in order for us to go against a shot blocker, you have to take it to him, and that's my game. So I look to do the same thing I've been doing for the last 10 years.
I'm talking about in the All-Star game. I want to see a lob. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
See, well, you and them standard answers.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So when are we going to see the lob?
Next time I get on a break, I'll throw a lob, maybe.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shaq. Let's go back to you, Marv.
Shaquille O'Neal of the Los Angeles Lakers, who have won 5 in a row, 13 of their last 17. Kobe Bryant, who comes off the 46-point performance against the Knicks this past Thursday night in New York. Duncan.
Oh, good job.
And back comes the East, a 3-on-1. Tracy McGrady. That's 12 points for McGrady. So the East up by 1. Bryant and Francis at the guards with Duncan, Garnett, and Yao up front. Kidd stepped away. Bryant not able to take advantage. Brad Miller able to finish. Nice setup from Allen Iverson.
He's not a household name, but he runs the floor extremely well in transition. Him and Jermaine O'Neal can really run the floor. He was on a nice receiving end of a good fast break pass.
Meanwhile, we have Kevin Garnett just having an outstanding game. 9 for 15 from the floor, 18 points, 7 rebounds in 25 minutes.
Oh, what a pass! And Tim Duncan is able to finish. 6 assists for Francis, and the West with a 74-73 lead.
That's 2 passes we've seen Brad Miller try. One a lob and one behind his back that he should take those, stick them in the suitcase, and not use them ever again. Jason Kidd in the open floor, crossing it over, and McGrady with the strong finish at the end.
The Golden State Warriors and a one-time assistant coach with the Czar.
Yes, I was very fortunate. I had not only Don Chaney, Willis Reed, but also Cassie Russell, all as my assistant coaches here with the Atlanta Hawks. And Cassie has an inner peace with himself. Really has some things in mind as Shaq finishes with, oh, the travel is called. It's taken away. No basket for Shaq.
I wish you had that inner peace.
No, Cassie really does. He has a calmness about him, and going to that college he knew would be a challenge. Yet he never was concerned with the fact that it was a small college, art school. He just wanted to coach basketball and help young people develop.
Jeff, do you find the Czar very philosophical here tonight?
He really is. It's a different side, a lighter side to the Czar, and I think it's a very nice touch that he's adding here, where he's just sticking up for everyone that he was ever associated with the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, there's a public relations theme going here right from the start.
It's amazing what one win can do for you in the sophomore game.
All right, Tracy McGrady at the line. Michael Jordan is back on the floor. And a look at the national TV NBA schedule. Wednesday on ESPN, Dallas and Milwaukee. Thursday on TNT, Orlando, Detroit, and Boston, Portland. And then Sunday, 1 o'clock game on ABC, the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Nets.
The red hot Portland Trailblazers. How about them right now? Are they playing outstanding basketball? They are right up at the top there in the Western Conference.
Oh, beautiful pass. The backdoor toss from Shaquille O'Neal to his teammate Kobe Bryant.
And O'Neal's an underrated low-post passer. He's really improved that from the first time he's come in the league. He's a great passer, particularly against double teams, creating open shots for all Lakers.
Here's Jordan, rejected by O'Neal. And you can hear the reaction from the crowd. They were not happy. Foul is called on Duncan.
Michael, as you mentioned, just a few points away of taking over the all-time leadership. It looks like he's going to be able to get 2 of them right here, but Shaq goes up and says, not getting it over the top of me. And then the quick little bounce pass to the cutter down the lane. Shaquille, as you mentioned, a very good interior passer.
Jermaine O'Neal has tied the game at 76. Michael is now 3 for 13 from the field. And that was the first block shot by the West.
Well, not to change direction, but as you look at some of the footwear on the players tonight, they remind me of some of the cars that you see with the metallic finishes on them. You got these high finish sneaks on tonight. Blues and golds and orange and purple.
Right there. Just getting back to the game. Bryant with the pass to O'Neal. And the West up by 1. That's the 12th lead change in this third quarter.
You're likely talking about metallic finishes, I can tell.
Tracy McGrady.
Though the worst shoes, though, I have voting for Yao with the powder blue low cut.
Non-metallic finish, that's the whole key. There you go. There's Yao. And there's powder blues, a little Carolina. Maybe he's showing respect to Michael Jordan that he wore the Carolina blues tonight. That could be it. Inside, the power. He wants to tear that one down right there. And as he runs back down, Kobe sticks out his hand to give him a 5. Shaq ignores. He says to his teammate, not right now, just leave me alone.
Michael Jordan able to hit the fadeaway over Gary Payton. So Jordan with 8 points is now 2 away from passing Kareem as the all-time all-star scorer. Tim Duncan right back. The East up by 1. Stephon Marbury of the Phoenix Suns checking back into the lineup. And both clubs are on fire. Tracy McGrady from downtown. 19 points for McGrady. Brady with 14 of his 19 here in the third. Here's Marion for 3. O'Neal changed his mind. Duncan. And another offensive rebound for the West. Finally, Jermaine O'Neal able to get to the ball. Here's Jordan hit on the reach-in by Payton. So Michael Jordan within 2 points of taking over the top spot in all-star scoring. Timeout taken. 2:04 to go in this third quarter.
It was actually, it's interesting. There were so many. I mean it sincerely. I was.
Pick one.
I don't have a favorite one. I just so much enjoy having him around.
What has he meant to the league?
I tell you that he really does inspire the younger players. You saw it out there. They love him. He shows them how to compete, and he shows them how intensively you have to work hard. He's been great for us.
Hey, congratulations on a great weekend once again.
You know, thank you. And Michael's like, he's the Cheryl Miller of the NBA.
You know, I tell that to everybody. Marv?
That is high praise. And Michael Jordan with his 10th point, so he has now passed by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he is the all-time all-star scorer. Incidentally, the commissioner has been on a media tour today. Gary Payton, and the East up by 4. Commissioner's been in demand. I think he's made appearances on every outlet except the Food Channel. He has made the rounds. McGrady from downtown. And the East with a 7-point advantage.
One of the things that he's accomplished is we may be getting, from what I understand, Marv, reportedly, that some changes in the playoff format coming up at the end of this season.
It has to only be approved by the Players Association. They will expand the first round to a best of 7. I don't think the Lakers mind that at all.
Well, there are many that feel that this is a big advantage for the Los Angeles Lakers. Like you, Jeff?
Well, I think that certainly the 7-game series favors the better team. And the Lakers this year will be the lower-seeded team, but they'll have the advantage going in the first round.
All right, here's Stojakovic with a rainbow 3. And the foul called by Louis Grillo. Ben Wallace picks it up. Speaking of media outlets, yes, the commissioner did spend some time earlier with CNN's Blitzer. CNN's late edition. East over the limit, and Stephon Marbury at the line. And what a dramatic bounce back it has been for Stephon. Last year's subpar season, and having a career year in revitalizing the Phoenix Suns.
And in a certain sense, this finally is an opportunity for Stephon Marbury to get rid of some of the criticism that took place, whereby look, let's face it, when he left Minnesota, it was a huge will on his part. He went to New Jersey. They could not win there. And now finally being able to turn the team into a winning team is a big plus for this young man.
He said he could not tune into the NBA Finals last June until the 4th and final round. Marbury lost it. 4th and final game, I should say. And here is Carter, the crowd looking for they wanted more from Vince. They wanted something out of the slam dunk competition.
I'm not sure Vince wanted to do it or give it back to Tracy McGrady on that one.
But Marbury last year was portrayed as the major reason for the Suns' poor year. Marion has stopped, and he was the guy traded for Jason Kidd. And Shaquille O'Neal able to put it down. Looks like Ben Wallace is shaken up.
Landed on that right ankle right there. He turned his right ankle as he came down.
And to get back to Marbury, he was really blamed for not being able to have his team as Kidd so turned around New Jersey. It's good to see with Amari Stoudemire and with Sean Marion that they've been able to advance and play above expectations this year.
Tracy McGrady with 17 points in this third quarter, 17 of his 22.
Smith was on fire, and going back to Portland, Marv, let's give Maurice Cheeks, the coach, their credit for putting Scottie Pippen at the point guard spot. Kind of a bold move, put the ball back in Scotty's hands. They've been winning games ever since then, and although Karl Malone and John Stockton are still the heart of that team, a new addition, Matt Harpring, along with Andre Kirilenko, now coming off the bench, have been the key for them.
And Sean Marion gets this fourth quarter underway. The East with a 93-88 lead. Mal Mashburn is back on the floor. Allen Iverson in the backcourt, along with Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, Brad Miller, Jamal Mashburn up front. Michael is now 4 of 15 from the field. Shaquille O'Neal handling and putting between the legs, putting moves on Brad Miller. Shaq had been waiting all night for that. Jordan changed his mind. A little behind the back maneuver.
Somehow I don't think Phil Jackson's in Montana right now diagramming wing isolations for Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, they say they've tinkered with the offense a little bit in Los Angeles. Maybe that's what they meant.
Stojakovic from downtown. Pedro Stojakovic, who last night won his second straight ATT shootout edging out Wesley Person of Memphis for the second straight year. Miller and Stojakovic on it. Finds Marion. Strong move by Sean Marion.
Just jumped over the top of Brad Miller that time. Clean look at throwing it down at the front of the ring.
And the steal by Mashburn. The East up by 4 in the course of tonight's All-Star game. 989 Sports, PlayStation 2, presenting pictures from SkyCap. The angle that we're seeing right here. Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal going from left to right, not facing much defensive help there.
But that was a neat little play because Marbury set the screen close to the lane for O'Neal, an inverted type pick and roll as he's leading the break. Oh, nice look away.
Oh, and Gary Payton is able to finish.
They got to start featuring him more in transition, Coach.
We've seen it all tonight from Shaq. Think about it. He's dunked, he's blocked shots, he's isolated on the wing, and he led the fast break and made the system.
That will count, and the foul.
So now you have a 7'1", 320, 40, 60 pounds, taking it, dropping it on the floor, and then the finish at the end for the Western team. Little isolation here, through the legs, trying to show him he's got some tricks. Brad Miller gets a little laugh at him until Shaq starts coming at him.
What a solid game for Allen Iverson. 16 points, 5 assists. The East up by 3. Steve Nash of the Dallas Mavericks is back. This is Peja Stojakovic. Nash with the tip. And Carter cannot handle. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, it's Tracy. Obviously, you guys got your wish. Michael started. Jason Kidd said at halftime he gets the record. He's the MVP. But the way you're scoring, you may take it from him.
Well, I'm just going out playing, having fun, man. That's what it's all about. And I'm surprised that Michael did go out there and start. The way he sounded yesterday, he didn't sound too convincing about going out there. So, but we're out here having fun, man. Hopefully we can get this win, and whatever happens after the game happens.
Everybody on this court has respect for Michael Jordan, but you're one of the many that idolized him. What was it like for you to watch the halftime presentation?
It was great, you know. Got real emotional out there, but you know, Mariah, she did a great job of what she was doing up there. Looked good in that dress, and you know, everybody applauded her, man. It's a lot of respect for that guy right there. A lot of respect.
Well, we're down to a 1-point game. 8 minutes, 56 seconds left. The East leading the West, 100-99.
And Ron Artest, I heard, is making a cameo in that movie.
Oh, a little cheap shot.
You didn't like that, huh?
No, I thought it was very good.
Okay.
The Czar didn't get it. Tied at 100. Just under 9 remaining in this fourth quarter. So, Jeff, when you're back on the coaching lines and the muscular Ron Artest comes in your direction,
I'm heading the other way,
understand.
but I'll tell you what, I'd take 12 of him on my team. I'll tell you that right now. I love the way he approaches a game. I love the way he plays it. I just hope it doesn't, his antics don't obscure how good a player he's become.
Could not be handled by Marion, but kept alive by Stojakovic. Payton. And another offensive rebound. And another. O'Neal powers his way by Ben Wallace.
Shaq, in his own way, has had an outstanding game. He's got 16 points, 12 rebounds, couple block shots.
And how about Tracy McGrady? 25 points, 9 of 13 from the field. He had 17 of the 25 in the third quarter. And back comes Jordan. The lead for O'Neal. Nicely done. The East by 3. Nash and Payton in the backcourt. Marion, Stojakovic, and O'Neal on the front line. Shot clock is down to 5. Here's Nash for 3. Rebounded by McGrady. Jordan. Shot has been off. O'Neal. Iverson. Yes. And the East leading 107-102.
Allen Iverson makes more tough shots, fading away, falling back, off balance after taking steps to split through defenders.
Open shot for Payton. Once again, O'Neal able to clear it. Iverson putting moves on Nash. Oh, what a pass to O'Neal. Oh! And he is fouled.
Eastern Conference team realizes that they have to take advantage of every opportunity they can in transition so that they can get some easy scores, easy look at the basket. They get Jermaine O'Neal running on the floor. This time, Peja lays it up. You see Shaq keeping it alive, and then Shaq gets his balance, finishes, knowing he's too strong, too big for Ben Wallace.
And substitutions for the West: Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant return. Jermaine O'Neal, who spent 4 years with Portland, bypassed college, became the youngest player ever to play in an NBA game, making his second All-Star appearance. And what a year it's been for Isaiah Thomas and the Indiana Pacers. Shaq able to keep it alive. Nowitzki for three. Shot clock still alive. And Bryant's pass broken up. 4 on 3 for the East. Jermaine O'Neal. And Wallace will hustle it down. And Bryant, can he keep to the dribble? Yes, he does. Gets it to Nash. It counts. And the foul. What a play by Kobe Bryant to race down that loose ball and handle the dribble.
Yeah, he was tightrope walking along the sideline. Then when he saves it, he lands right into a bunch of cameramen down on the baseline. You'll see right here, it winds up landing on top of the cameraman, saves it. Nash makes the recovery, and then the finish after the foul.
So Steve Nash, second best free throw shooter in the NBA behind Allen Houston of the Knicks at 92%. At the line, we'll go over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Marv. 13 seasons in the league. 9 times he appeared in the All-Star game. Gary Payton, the glove, legendary for his skills. Gary, what happened in the skills challenge yesterday?
Sure, I lost you some money, I heard it.
You lost me enough.
I heard I lost you some money. So what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry, but, I messed up on my chest pass. I should have won it, but it was cool.
What's it been like having, Michael Jordan this last season and everything else? Real quickly.
Well, it's been great. I mean, it's great for him to go out like this, and we tribute him. He's the greatest basketball player to ever play.
All right, thanks a lot, Gary.
Shaquille O'Neal meeting once again. And a look at the Shanghai Sharks, Yao's former teammates. It's 12:42 in the afternoon in Shanghai, China. Checking out the action on Chinese television as we showed you earlier. Here's Jordan. Yes. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth, and the East with a 112-104 lead. Michael Jordan now 6 of 18, 14 points. Foul is on Bryant. That's his third.
Michael is actually having fun right now. He really is. He wants to hold on to this lead. He wants to win the game with the Eastern Conference, and he's playing very, very hard right now.
And the East has picked up its shooting in the second half. Nowitzki not able to hit from downtown, but Kevin Garnett is there. So Garnett with 20.
Allen Iverson was caught on the back of a much bigger Western Conference player. Just tried to knock it out of there. Instead, tipped it to the wrong team.
Jason Kidd. And here's Michael Jordan. 16 for Jordan.
He's got a much better arc and rotation on the ball in the second half. It's up in the air. He's giving himself a chance to make those shots. And he's also being guarded by a bigger man who's giving him a cushion, so he's got more airspace to rise up and shoot it.
So the ball back to the East. Tracy McGrady is the high point man with 25, 17 coming in the third. Allen Iverson with 18 points and 6 assists. Garnett leads the West with 20, and Shaq 16 points, 12 rebounds.
I'm not sure Michael was ready for the fact that Allen Iverson was tracking him the entire time and threw a beautiful bounce pass through the lane, anticipating Michael coming out on the other side of the rim.
Foul is called. A reach-in foul. Let's go to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv, it is Michael Jordan's night, but a couple of players on the East bench not happy, not getting any playing time in the second half. Teammates Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker, the Boston Celtics. I asked Paul Pierce why he wasn't playing. He says, you have to ask the coach. I asked Antoine Walker if he was all right. He said, yeah, ask the coach. Isaiah's comment was, it's my team.
Well, Paul Pierce, 13 minutes. Antoine Walker, only 10 minutes.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas, 4 minutes. I was concerned whether it was the knee brace on Antoine Walker, which I know he's still in pain on that one. And then the concern with Ilgauskas is the numerous surgeries he's had on his feet.
Just under 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Kobe Bryant tried to extend, could not hit. It's the biggest lead of the night. Here's Jordan with the change of pace. And rejected by Bryant. Jordan.
And you know Kobe took great pleasure in that because of Michael stealing the ball from him from behind before.
So Michael has been blocked twice, once by Shaq, once by Kobe. Garnett gets inside.
But see, that's what I think he loves about it, is they're competing against him instead of letting him just do what he wants. That's what's exciting about the All-Star game, is when people compete to their utmost ability.
Iverson.
But Doc Rivers, the coach of Orlando, had a suggestion that you up the ante in the All-Star game and play, as Kevin Garnett throws it down, up the ante in the All-Star game and play winner take all.
Well, the winners get $20,000. The losers receive $10,000.
That's a big $10,000 incentive to you and me. Maybe not to them, but to you and me, I'd be going all for it.
We're just under 3 remaining in the fourth. Duncan not able to handle that pass. Iverson on the move, whipping by Nowitzki. Allen Iverson protecting the ball on Dirk Nowitzki. 22 for Iverson. Francis, yes. 118-112, the East with the lead. The East has won 4 of the last 6 All-Star games. The West won last year in Philadelphia. Overall, the East with 32 victories. They've dominated the West with 19. Here's Jordan with a flip that goes home. And the crowd responds. Michael Jordan with 18 points.
You can see what this last 2.5 minutes means. When you see the guys tugging on their trunks, getting down that serious defensive stance, they're digging in right now.
Duncan. So with a minute and 40 to go in this fourth quarter, it's a 6-point lead for the East.
And Garnett and Duncan are so fundamental. They have a hard time playing in a game that's so scattered, but they are just excellent at passing, catching, and finishing in the lane.
McGrady putting the move on Garnett. Garnett got a piece of it. McGrady able to retrieve. Shot clock down to 1. Here's Kidd. And it's a 24-second violation.
This is the play now where Kobe Bryant finally gets a little revenge. Michael fakes him out, but Kobe comes right back from behind and blocks it with the left hand. And then Michael getting a much bigger player to get up.
Played in his first All-Star game back in 1985. That was in Indianapolis. Ralph Sampson was the game MVP. Michael went only 2 for 9, 7 points in 22 minutes. Tonight he started 0 for his first 7. He's 8 for 15 since then. Garnett blocked from behind, but a foul on Jermaine O'Neal.
Nice job that time of throwing the ball right back to the top of the circle. They had a high-low situation. Tim Duncan saw Garnett sealing his man on his back. Garnett wanted the ball go back to the top and throw it in. Excellent execution.
Kevin Garnett, 12 of 18 from the field. He has 24 points. It's a 6-point lead for the East. The stars for the East, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson. As we start thinking about MVP possibilities, Kevin Garnett has led the West.
Well, I have to go right now. If the East can continue on with this lead, it has to be, in my mind, Tracy McGrady, even though Iverson has also played an outstanding game.
Iverson's played very, very well. Tracy McGrady, outstanding.
Tracy with 20 of his 25 in the second half. We're down to 1:08 remaining of this 52nd NBA All-Star game.
Box out right here.
26 for Garnett.
Now, what do we do all of a sudden if the West makes a couple baskets? And I'm going to talk about MVPs for the West. Is that it? You don't want to give him any credit now?
You're a guy who makes quick adjustments. Jordan with the step back. And rebounded by Bryant. The West very much alive, down by just 4. Francis lost it, but last touched by Kidd. Jason Kidd, incidentally, with 10 assists, 5 steals. 48.3 to go. Bryant being played by Kidd. Can't find the shot. And they need a quick shot here. Duncan. It counts, and the foul.
So like I said,
yes.
So we'll be discussing, in case the Western Conference should win, who might you consider as their MVP? A little pass and cut, clear it out, give the big man space, get your defender up in the air, draw the contact, and then he's so long, Tim Duncan, to finish there, and the three-point play.
Completes the three-point play by hitting the foul shot. He was fouled by Jermaine O'Neal. It's a 1-point game with a half minute remaining in the fourth. The East up by 1. Crowd would like to see Michael Jordan take it at Sean Marion. And he does. But he was blocked. That shot deflected. And the West with an opportunity to take the lead. Kobe hit out of reach in with 10.1 remaining in this fourth quarter.
Michael tried to run the shot clock down as far as possible, but he saw the seam right there, decides to try and step through. Problem is there's too many red jerseys around there. Michael maybe could get the foul call. Instead tries to get it back at the other end and call him on the reach in.
And with the East over the limit, Bryant shooting 2 and misses on the first. Kobe at 83% free throw shooter. 10 and 1/10 seconds remaining. Bryant has tied the game. Kobe was 0 for 2 at the line before he connected.
So now if you're Isaiah Thomas going into this timeout, who are you going to draw up that last shot for?
Well, if you're being sentimental, you're going to Jordan. If you want to win it, go to McGrady.
We'll be back in a moment. Plays it. Jason Kidd will inbound. Jordan, guarded by Marion, checking the clock. Jordan with 4, 3, not over the hit. Duncan with the rebound, and we go to overtime.
Well, Isaiah certainly gave him the opportunity to be the star at the end of the night. The ball was up on the rim. Michael got a look. He had a tall, active defender on him, which made Michael fade away, fall away just a little bit more than he would have liked to. But
12 of his 18 in the second half. Got off to the bad start, missed his first 7 shots, 8 for 25 in his 34 minutes of play. The high point man, Kevin Garnett, with 26 points, and Tracy McGrady leading the East with 25. Allen Iverson has 22.
And it's interesting, Jordan starting overtime on the bench, and O'Neal has now come back in, and they've gone with the big front court again for the East, or the West, I'm sorry.
Francis and Bryant in the backcourt. Garnett, O'Neal, and Duncan up front. Here's Francis. Steve Francis has given the West a 2-point lead. So the West has come back from a 10-point deficit, and they have scored the last 10 points. Iverson met on the switch by O'Neal. Jermaine O'Neal Iverson skying for this time, but able to get to it. Iverson wide open. Look for the better shot.
I actually thought maybe Allen might try to bank it off the glass from that particular angle there, but instead he's so used to playing it straight in, he went back to his strength.
Game tied at 122. Bryant for O'Neal. And Shaq is able to line drive it home.
For those people who are just tuning in, I think they're seeing the best of the NBA. They're seeing a very competitive game down the stretch, good offense, and most importantly, good defense, so you can tell just how good the offense is.
Well, they're serious right here now. This is a different phase of the game after a playground sequence that we saw through the second quarter. The West now leading 124-122, 3:47 remaining. In overtime, Shaquille O'Neal was called for that foul. Look at the scoring totals. McGrady leading the way for the East with 25. Iverson 24. Garnett with 26 points. Allen Iverson at the line hit the first and has tied the game at 124. This the 6th overtime game in the history of All-Star competition. It's a series that dates back to 1951. Bryant, yes.
Bryant's had an outstanding game. That time catches the ball, puts it on the floor, suddenly pulls up and gets a clean look, and we see Allen Iverson come right back with the finish at the other end.
Allen Iverson, the MVP of the All-Star game 2 years ago, making a strong bid here tonight.
You mentioned the overall game he had been playing while Michael was on the floor. Now Michael goes to the bench. Allen Iverson decides he may have to be the one to be the scorer out there for the East.
No, it's on Duncan. And what's so amazing is how well he finishes in traffic at his size. Until you're up next to him, you don't realize how small and slight he is. He's just a great finisher because he can take the hit and still get it up on the board.
Iverson has 29. He scored all 7 East points in the overtime, and Kobe Bryant right back from downtown. The West 129 and the East 127. Iverson for 3. Rebounded by O'Neal. And O'Neal blocked from behind by Kobe Bryant. 21 remaining on the shot clock. Kobe Bryant somehow getting a piece of that shot attempt. All right, here's McGrady. And a foul is called. Foul committed by Shaq. That is his third. And the 13th foul committed by the West. Oh, the steal by Bryant took it out of the hands of Kidd. Kobe Bryant. And Kobe with 7 points here in overtime, plus a huge rejection. 17 in all for Bryant. The West up by 4. Iverson hitting the contact, fouled by Bryant.
From the end of regulation time into this overtime, Kobe has been a huge factor here for the Western Conference. He fakes with the left, sticks it in there, and now picks his pocket, comes down at the other end and shows the great finish by bringing it back over his head two-handed.
It's his competitive spirit that really separates himself. He competes each game, each practice in the summers to get better, and then right there, he didn't just pick any point guard. He picked the best point guard in the game today in Jason Kidd.
And here's Michael Jordan checking back in, replacing Ben Wallace. So Isaiah Thomas is going with a 3-guard set. He has Iverson, Kidd. Jordan would be considered the small forward along with McGrady and O'Neal.
And Isaiah Thomas has shortened the rotation here in the second half. He's going for the win.
2.5 remaining in OT. Garnett. So the West has taken command. Garnett has 28. The West up by 5.
This is one of those duels. If you're the big team, do you stay with your big team? If you're the small team, do you take advantage of mismatches in your favor at the offensive end?
Bryant wants it. Steve Francis from Kobe Bryant. Iverson went behind the back. Dangerous pass thrown by Jermaine O'Neal, but last touch by the West.
Get a wide open court in a 2-on-1 situation. It's a matter of running the floor, which we know Steve Francis has the ability to certainly go up, catch, and finish. we'll see Steve Francis throw back into Garnett, who has the size advantage over the top of McGrady. Lifts up and hits that little 10-foot baseline jump.
Eastern possession down by 7. Jason Kidd, nice adjustment by Kidd to cut it to 5. A minute and 45 remaining in overtime.
It's almost a reverse to what the fourth quarter regulation time was, with the East leading by 5. Now it's the West up 5.
Deflected out by Duncan of the West. (135-130), the West with the lead after trailing by as many as 10. McGrady, yes. So the West lead is down to 3. Jordan trying to steal, kept by Francis. A minute and 15 remaining in overtime.
Be a foul Shaq right now and put him on a foul line.
Shot clock to 5. Down to 3. Down to 1. Bryant. And a traveling violation is called.
Yes, he did, because he knew he had to try and get some space, because he had used up his dribble, and you'll see him hop with both feet to go backwards. Once he picks up the dribble, McGrady stays down on this fake that right there. Kobe wanted to get him up in the air instead. There's the hop, 2 feet, hop backwards, the travel call.
Good finish here in Atlanta to this 52nd NBA All-Star game. McGrady in traffic draws the foul with 52 seconds remaining, and Tracy McGrady to the line.
And Rick Adelman substituted offense for defense. He put in Sean Marion, took out Tim Duncan to match up specifically with McGrady. McGrady got to the middle of the floor, drew the contact.
Tracy McGrady, an 80% free throw shooter. 28 points, 5 rebounds, make it 29 for McGrady. And the West now leading by 1. West came from behind, scored the last 8 points in regulation to send the game to overtime. The East had a shot to win it. Michael Jordan was not able to hit. Francis to the crossover, rejected by Jermaine O'Neal. And Jim Clark, the outside official, calls it against the West. It is a loose ball foul.
That was a right arm that I think came from Kevin Garnett and knocks Jason Kidd away from the ball he was going after. First, Steve Francis challenges him. I think, actually, Rick Adelman wanted the ball to go to Kobe Garnett. They wanted to play 2-man game with Kobe. But then right at the end, after there's the right arm that shoves him off. That's where a loose ball foul is called.
It is on Garnett. It puts Kidd at the line with the West over the limit. And the game is tied at 135. Jason Kidd, an 84% free throw shooter. It's been a strong game for Kidd. 10 points, 10 assists, 5 steals. So the East has come from behind, and they now lead by 1. An 8-0 run by the Eastern Conference. And a timeout is taken.
And they're taking a timeout to try to advance it so they can go 2 for 1, get 2 quality shots.
East, though, has scored 8 straight points to take a 1-point lead. And I've been told by our staff there has never been a double overtime game in All-Star play.
I think a great ending right now would be if they got the ball into Kobe Bryant. He was matched up with Michael Jordan. One-on-one, you're going to see the next Michael Jordan, okay, having an opportunity to steal this game from the Michael Jordan.
I've got to go to Duncan against McGrady or Garnett against whoever's guarding him. They've been the 2 most efficient players.
And Garnett is forced to take a timeout, avoiding the 5-second inbounding violation.
How about that? How many times do you ever see in an All-Star game a team work that hard at the defensive end that they force the guy inbounding the pass to take another timeout?
The defensive intensity has really picked up in overtime, last 8 minutes of regulation.
Seconds remaining in overtime. They have the full 24 and get it inbounds. Francis being played by Iverson. The West with the ball down by 1.
You take the foul on Shaq right away.
And they do.
Michael tried to take it. That's what he's pointing at. He tried to take it while he was on the ground. That's what Michael was trying to do.
Well, the East had a foul to give.
Betting on percentages, he's shooting 60 this year. If he only makes 1 or 2, you get the last shot of the game.
2 out of 3 in tonight's game.
Kind of lost the grip as he released it.
Well, maybe you can ask for a do-over, Mark.
Well, I had a do-over last night in the three-point
exactly.
competition. Yes. The All-Star game. And there's the head coach of the West, Rick Adelman of the Sacramento Kings. This is his second All-Star coaching appearance in the last 3 years. The Kings at 34-17 at the break. That's the second best record in the West, right behind Dallas.
Mark, I thought maybe Isaiah would bring in one more big man to rebound the basketball in case Shaq misses it.
Well, he hits 1 of 2, and the game is tied at 1:36. They have the full clock. And apparently there was a problem with the clock. It just stopped.
The shot clock should be turned off right now. They can run it all the way down.
Well, we're down to 10 seconds remaining in overtime. And Michael has the ball, again guarded by Sean Marion. The fadeaway, yes! With 4 and 8/10 seconds remaining, the West takes a timeout. Michael Jordan, not able to hit the game winner at the end of regulation, has just given the East a 2-point lead.
Marvin, as we see, Michael takes the fadeaway again over the outstretched arm of Sean Marion and just hits an incredible shot right there. Again, we see it. Marion gets up into him. He's going to force him to take a tough shot. The fade, think about the strength you need to get that up. That was his 26th field goal attempt tonight. It takes a lot of energy to get this type of shot up and in.
And at the end of regulation, the West failed to call timeout so they could advance and take a last shot on Jordan Smith. Here they inbounded the ball instead of taking the timeout. Now it's in the backcourt with no timeouts left and only 3 seconds to go.
36 minutes. Bill Russell, among many former All-Stars in the crowd. There's a 13-time All-Star. 3 seconds to go in overtime.
Mark, what happened when Jason Kidd came down for the East, he looked up at the clock and was confused for a second. He pointed to the official because he didn't realize when they inbounded there was 23.1 seconds, under 24. So they only turned on one of the clocks, not both of them. Jason thought that there was a problem, so he almost stopped and was pointing to the official, then continued on. He realized what had happened.
You know, there was a problem with the clock. It stopped momentarily. However, now 3 seconds remaining. Garnett will inbound. The East up by 2. Wallace applying the pressure on the inbound. It's broken up by Kidd, played by Bryant, who fires and is fouled. With 1 second remaining, he was fouled in 3-point territory. He'll have 3 shot attempts. Wow.
Jermaine O'Neal looks like from here he runs out, almost a steal by Jason Kidd. Now as Jermaine O'Neal goes for it, right there we see the body contact. It definitely is behind the 3-point line.
Not a smart foul by Jermaine O'Neal as Kobe goes to the line with 1 second remaining in overtime. And now the East lead is 1. Kobe Bryant, an 83% free throw shooter. You recall with 10 seconds left in regulation, he missed a free throw. Looking to tie. And now it comes down to the third shot. Michael Jordan goes over. Try and bother Kobe Bryant.
Surprising. Kobe missed at the end of regulation and now missed here. I would have counted him for all 3.
Only 1 second left. And he has tied the game. At 1:38, the East will take a timeout. So much for that Michael Jordan possible game winner with 4.8 remaining, but the East will have another opportunity. We'll take a break. We'll be back in Atlanta in a moment. Back in Atlanta, Marv Albert, Jeff Van Gundy, Lazar, Mike Fratello, Craig Sager, Cheryl Miller, in what has made the transition from a decent All-Star game to a classic with 1 second remaining in overtime. It will be the East in possession. They do have 1 timeout remaining, the West using its final timeout. And Jason Kidd looking for the catch and shoot right here. He finds Jordan, and the shot this time is blocked by Marion. And for the first time in NBA All-Star history, we go to double overtime.
Well, Sean Marion knew he didn't have to worry about a fake by Michael Jordan. There wasn't enough time once he caught it, so as soon as Michael elevated, he was going up after it.
We'll continue from Atlanta after this. The OT with 4.8 remaining. Michael Jordan going at Sean Marion. Hit a jumper to give the East a 2-point lead. But with 1 second to go, Kobe Bryant was fouled in three-point land by Jermaine O'Neal. Hit 2 of the 3. And that puts us at 138 apiece. I don't know if Michael Jordan expected to play 36 minutes plus, but he's been logging the time. Paul Pierce, though, has come on for Michael. Vince Carter is back. Here's Garnett. Draws the foul. It counts. It's on Carter, and Garnett to the line.
If I was Isaiah Thomas right now, I'd really be worried about this team on the floor. I know he's trying to give guys minutes in the game, but the Western team that's on the floor has been out there. They're warmed up. They're active. You're bringing a couple guys in cold. You're very small right now. This could be a quick 8-zip, 9-0 burst for the Western Conference to start this next overtime.
And because there's no power forward on the floor, Garnett or Duncan, whoever Wallace isn't guarding, is going to have an obvious mismatch. Just what happened down there for the three-point play. Garnett scored over Vince Carter.
31 for Garnett. Iverson. Here's Carter. Wallace tried to deflect it. Lands out of bounds, and the ball back to the West. The West up by 3 by virtue of that three-point play by Kevin Garnett. So Kobe Bryant handling it at the point. He and Steve Francis in the backcourt with Garnett, Duncan, and Marion on the front line. Garnett over Carter, taking advantage of the mismatch.
Vince Carter has no chance in that matchup. Garnett's 7 feet. He has a high release. They have no double team schemes in. No chance to stop Kevin Garnett down the post.
Wild shot by Carter. The West up by 5 with just over 1 minute gone by in the second overtime. West in one stretch had a 7-point lead in the first overtime. They double up on Garnett, forces, and hits. He is on fire. 16 of 22, 35 points. Iverson with the step. Sets it up for Pierce.
And Marv, I think Isaiah Thomas just asked Michael Jordan, did he want to go back in? And I think he declined. He's ready to call it a day.
He had a lot of minutes. Michael with 36 minutes, 27 shot attempts, 9 for 27. Francis for 3. The West has opened up an 8-point lead with just under 3 minutes to go. in the second OT.
There's the 10-2 run that I had talked about. Exactly what I had feared because the West was warmed up in this whole thing.
Marion with the steal. Kid try to get it back. Here's Bryant for three. Yes. The West has taken over in the second overtime. They have hit all 5 of their shots.
I'm not sure that I would think that I would see the Sacramento staff applauding as hard as they are for Kobe Bryant when he got fouled for the three-pointer and on that shot right there.
I think Rick Adelman is nice move by Iverson. It counts in the foul. Rick Adelman is saying, hey, I like having this guy on my side.
Well, Kevin Garnett, who has the size advantage over Vince Carter, certainly went to work on him. First steps through to get some space and then shoots it right up over the top of him there. And then they go right back again into the post, clear the side of the floor. They got the other high man Duncan up top. Step back. He's got a lot of room to look over the top of Vince Carter and hits it.
Hit the free throw, so the West up 151, 143. Garnett drawing the double team. And now again one-on-one with Carter. Kept alive by Marion. It's been an outstanding night for Sean Marion. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 points for Marion. Here's Francis. And Wallace with the rebound with a minute 45. Remaining in the second overtime. He'll go to the line. Kevin Garnett helping up Allen Iverson. That's 3 on Garnett.
Iverson sees the opening, goes to the basket immediately, trying to attack the rim, hoping to get fouled, stop the clock, put points on the board by going to the foul line.
34 points for Iverson, along with 7 assists. 5 rebounds, 7 of 8 at the line. He had that huge game 2 years ago. Certainly one of the better All-Star games. I put this one right alongside it, with the East coming from behind to beat the West. Sparked by Iverson and Marbury. West leading 151-145 with 1 minute remaining in the second overtime. Bryant and Duncan able to return it to Kobe. The lob for Garnett. And Wallace lost sight of the ball. Kevin Garnett with 37 points. Here's Kidd for 3 and came up with air. The ball back to the West. The East running out of steam in this second overtime. Czar, as you mentioned, a couple of substitutions made by Isaiah Thomas. But obviously Michael Jordan felt that was enough. And that also dictated the change in the lineup. Shot clock down to 5. Francis. A strong performance in this second overtime by the West. Francis now has 20. Here's Pierce from way downtown. Did he misread the clock? What was that?
He just wanted to show you that he can shoot it from way downtown.
Final seconds. And this one is over in double OT for the first time in NBA All-Star history. 155-145.
Kevin, there are a lot of things we can talk about in the wake of a game like this, but strictly from a personal standpoint, for you to be added to the list of the legends who have been the MVP of the All-Star game, put that in words for me.
No, I can't. I think everybody enjoyed the game. Like Commissioner said, it was a great play. It was a great game just on the basis of this being Michael and very, very emotional game. And like I said, I couldn't have done none of this without my teammates. So I just want to thank the coaching staff and the rest of the Western All-Stars.
At halftime in the ceremony that honored Michael, he looked at you bunch of players and said he felt like it was in good hands, that he was basically passing the torch to you. What is the responsibility in your mind?
I think the responsibility falls not only on one single individual. I think, as you see what's behind me, we're in great shape with guys like Tim Duncan, AI, Stephon. The league is full of guys who can carry it, but I think it's going to be a group effort, and I think it's one challenge that we all look up to.
Finally, what is your message for Michael tonight on a night when everybody was thinking about MJ's final appearance here?
Finally beat Ballhead.
Ladies and gentlemen, the MVP of the All-Star game, Kevin Garnett. Back to you, Marv.
Well, the MVP was Kevin Garnett, but the night belonged to Michael Jordan. Getting congratulations now from Kobe Bryant, who made the free throws to send it into the double overtime. You scored more points than anybody in All-Star game history. Talk about the one at the end of overtime that appeared to be the game winner.
Well, it was a tough shot. They played good defense. I was able to get to my right side and get off a shot, high arcing shot, and it went in. Thought it was a game winner, but obviously, anything can happen in the NBA game, and that's exactly what happened. Kobe made a couple of free throws. He could have easily made 3 in a row to end the game, but we had a chance to go into overtime, and they had more energy than we did down the stretch.
Did you say anything to Jermaine O'Neal for fouling him on the three-point attempt?
No, I just couldn't believe the referee made that call. No. Obviously, we were just trying to play hard defense, and those things happen.
How will you remember this All-Star game?
Double overtime, we lost. It was fun. I think I got the chance to enjoy some good young company tonight, and as David Stern said, the NBA is still moving upward, and you can see by the young talent that's playing here, and a lot of talent that's not here. The game's going to be fun to watch for some time, and I look forward to just sitting back and watching and say, I was a part of that group. I was one of the guys who passed it down to those guys, and that's truly a privilege.
As with your teammates, your opponents, the fans, and our television audience, it's a pleasure and honor for all of us to be here for your final one.
Thank you very much.
All right, for Michael Jordan in his final All-Star appearance, he concludes as the all-time scoring leader in the history of All-Star play. Again, the final score in a wild one. Double overtime. The West, 155. The East, 145. Stay with us for Cartoon Network's Adult Swim All-Star Extravaganza. Special programming designed for the Czar. Those of you on the West Coast will see Martin Lawrence in Life. All-Star Weekend has been presented by TNC Sports, the home of the NBA playoffs, and exclusive coverage of the 2003 Western Conference Finals.